We welcome you to another week of Grand Slam Wrestling. This is Big Paulie coming to you. It's week 42 in the GSW, year number 3. And this match emanating from the Calgary, Alberta Saddle Dome in Canada, the site of the 1988 Winter Olympics. Farmer Burns defending his championship against Fishman. First, let's recap what has happened during the week here in GSW. Whoops, sorry about that, folks. A little slip up there. In the North, we had a vacancy declared for the women's title in a match between Fabulous Moolah and Mildred Burke. Burke injured her arm. Moolah was disqualified, but that still will force a 30-woman battle royal in the East Circuit to determine the new champ. The Southern Rockers pulled off a major upset, beating the team of... Who did they beat? They beat the Miller Brothers to win the Northern Tag Team titles. In the East, Dr. Wagner Jr. finally did it. He regained the junior heavyweight title, but injured himself in a match against Roddy Piper. Piper had been disqualified twice in title defenses against Dr. Wagner Jr., so this set up a third match. First, the two defenses of the World Junior Heavyweight title. Andre the Giant regained his Eastern title against Ray the Crippler Stevens. The Briscoe brothers finally won their first tag team titles, the Eastern Regional titles, against Black Gordman and Goliath. Then we headed to the South, and the World Junior Heavyweight Championship changed again. Danny Hodge beat an injured Dr. Wagner Jr. in about 12 minutes to claim the Junior Heavyweight title, his first championship. And it was Hiro Matsuda upsetting Jerry the King Lawler to win the Southern title. And already in the Western Circuit, we have new Western Tag Team title holders. Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba upset the Kalmakoffs, who looked out of shape and out of date, as Jimmy Hart would say. Inoki and Baba winning a little over 10 minutes in. We had an impromptu match as Brock Lesnar got a little heated with Bullet Bob Armstrong. Vader and Lesnar had a little bit of a dispute in last week's matches, so Armstrong tricked Lesnar into signing a contract that looked a lot like a fan's autograph. Armstrong, although he is no ally of Big Van Vader, allowed Vader to substitute for him in a future match, and Vader said, well, why don't you take me on right now? Vader was injured, was not supposed to compete this week, but GSW Brass got together, said, have that match, and Vader defeated Lesnar in a little over a couple of minutes and retained the Western title. And folks, due to technical difficulties, you join us about 5 minutes into the match. You haven't missed anything just yet. They are just getting started. One pin attempt so far by each man, but each man was both way off. So we pick up the action in progress. A headlock by Burns, a legal neck hold by Burns, illegal choking by Fishman, illegal leg hold by Burns. A kick by Fishman. We'll recap the matches that happened earlier in the card when we finish this match. An illegal turnbuckle move by Fishman. Fishman going for the world's title. One fall, 60-minute time limit. And this is not going to be a successful pin attempt by Farmer Burns. Double wrist lock. Oh, this could be it. And it is it. Submission. Farmer Burns retains easily the championship against Fishman. The time of the match, 8:14, 2.5 stars. And you see it there, 50 to 83 was the stamina breakdown. And Burns, with my apologies for you missing most of this match. Again, the time, 8:14, he has retained the World Heavyweight Championship and goes into his 69th week as champion. We'll recap the card while we're thinking of it, and to fill a little time, Black Japan over Chronic in 3:42 in our opener. Bob Armstrong by DQ over Giant Haystacks in 22:48, which has kind of set up a little triangle contretemps between Armstrong, Vader, and Brock Lesnar, which we explained earlier on and we'll re-explain for you in a minute. Paul Jones stuck it out for a 30-minute draw against Mil Mascaras, despite being busted open and his face being a crimson mask. Then a fan got Brock Lesnar to sign an autograph, but Bob Armstrong swooped up the autograph and said, "Hey, Lesnar, you signed a contract." And the contract allowed Armstrong and Lesnar had agreed verbally to a future match, but Armstrong also put in a clause in the contract that would also allow Armstrong to substitute an opponent or to pick a supplementary opponent before he could face Armstrong, before Lesnar could face Armstrong. Vader stepped up, said, "I'll put the title on the line because you roughed me up and injured me last week." They had a very brief match, and Vader won by countout in 2:14. Saruta and Yatsu, by the way, Lesnar now managed by Gary Hart, as is Chronic, as is Giant Haystacks, who came in and lost to Armstrong in the second match as a mystery opponent. The Hells Angels beat Saruta and Yatsu, a good Japanese team. Pat O'Connor, no trouble with Great Antonio. Tiger Mask over Bert Azarati. The Crush Girls debuted as a tag team. They had been competing as singles in GSW. Lioness Azuka and Chikusa Nagoyo. They defeated the Glamour Girls. The Kalmakoffs, Russia's great tag team. Well, it didn't look too great tonight. They lose the titles to Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba. We talked about that earlier. At 11:42, they were beat. And now Fishman has been soundly defeated against Farmer Burns in 8 minutes and 14 seconds. And the championship committee is going to look at this and see if Fishman should get the World Junior Heavyweight Championship shot next week. They might go for an all babyface match and put either Tiger Mask in or Pat O'Connor. So that's the situation here at GSW. We'll do it all again next week when Danny Hodge goes out west and defends his junior heavyweight title. Farmer Burns will have the week off. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well no matter where you are, no matter where you may be. Godspeed, God bless. Do it all again soon. And bye-bye for now, everybody.